Save half price on fresh pork shoulder roast, just $2.39 per pound. Save $1.30 on white whole mushrooms, $2.99 for a 10-ounce package. New frozen 9-ounce Taipei Asian-style entree, just $3.99 for select varieties. Frozen 12.3-ounce Eggo waffles, $4.59 for select varieties. $3.99 for a 5-ounce bag of select varieties of wholesome pantry organic popcorn. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
You're watching Bermuda Broadcasting News. It's Friday, April 27th. I'm Diane Brewer, and thanks for joining us tonight. We begin our broadcast with news just coming to hand that political veteran Dr. Grant Gibbons is resigning from politics. He made the announcement minutes ago in the House of Assembly. We'll have more details later on in the broadcast. In the meantime, Premier David Byrd has signed a memorandum of understanding with Binance, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges. Bermuda is one step closer to having a fully operational fintech market. Binance will hire 40 staff members, of which 30 are Bermudians, to train.
It's the moment the country enters into a new economic era.
Today is a historic day for Bermuda. Not only historic in the commitment that Binance has made to our country and to our future, the Bermudians that are looking for work and looking for hope of a future industry, but in addition to that, when we return back up the steps to Parliament, Bermuda will be the first country in the world to pass legislation that will comprehensively govern the issuance of initial coin offerings in this jurisdiction.
Premier Byrd says the move is keeping with a throne speech promise to diversify the economy and boost job creation.
The Binance Group is the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange and an international leader in digital exchange development and fintech, with a market capitalization of $1.3 billion US. Through the Binance Charity Foundation, the group is committed to improving education, creating awareness in the development of the use of blockchain technology.
So what does Bermuda gain from the partnership?
Binance proposes to develop its global compliance base here in Bermuda, creating at least 40 jobs in Bermuda with at least 30 jobs for Bermudians. Through the Binance Foundation, sponsor university-level training for Bermudians in blockchain technology development and compliance in an amount up to $10 million US. Through Binance Labs, make up to $5 million US available for investments in new Bermuda-based blockchain companies.
Dressed in full Bermudian attire, Binance chief Jianpeng Zhao joked it was important to stick with local regulations and spoke about the company's ambitions.
We think that Bermuda government and the regulatory bodies are one of the most approachable, most reasonable, and most forward-thinking bodies on the planet. So we would welcome all the other crypto blockchain businesses to come here and help us establish this industry, grow it healthily, and create a Bermudian blockchain industrial island.
A venture capital firm, Sequoia Capital China, recently sued Zhao in a Hong Kong lawsuit, claiming he violated terms of an exclusivity agreement by holding talks with other potential investors. We asked whether the legal dispute would hinder business in Bermuda.
We have just issued an announcement that the legal dispute, the Hong Kong High Court has already rejected it and have ordered the Sequoia to pay for our legal fees. So I think that's a very clear indication of what's going on.
Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news this evening, the leader of the opposition tonight believes the latest positive outlook for Bermuda's economy by ratings agency Standard & Poor's is due to the efforts of the former OBA government. Premier Byrd said of the revised rating that they view the prudent fiscal policy by the new Progressive Labour Party government as positive. However, Ms. Jean Atherton says government has not been in power long enough to affect that kind of market change.
I do recognize that there is a tendency when, if you can take credit, then take all of the credit. But I do believe that the people of Bermuda will recognize that where we are today is built on the foundation that the One Bermuda Alliance had, that the changes that we had in the growth of revenue in 2016, the controls that we had with respect to keeping expenditure at a level that enabled us to start to reduce our debt or the level of debt. Those are the things that was the foundation on which the government, the current government, was able to grow, because the tourism results, all the other growth things that the Standard & Poor's regulators are looking, I shouldn't say regulators, but the Standard & Poor's investor agencies are looking at, that's built on where we were. The government has only been the government since July, so that's effectively, what, 9 months, not even then. So it means that the things that are here, most of them, they were not able to change. They were able to keep, it's like driving a car. You're in the car, you're driving along, and when you get down the road, you have to say, thank goodness this was a good car.
We'll have more news for you after this short break. Stay with us.
You can count on us.
Value pack fresh Purdue chicken leg quarters, $1.79 per pound. Only $1.99 for a large California grapefruit. For your mac and cheese dish, Tama macaroni, just $1.79 for a 500-gram package. Start your day with Kellogg's Special K fruit and yogurt cereal, $6.89 for a 12.5-ounce box. Dettol antiseptic, $2.99 for a 500-milliliter bottle. Visit our website, www.marketplace.pm, for more super specials.
You can count on us.
That's the beautiful rhythm that we've seen from Duffy all season. All smiles from a very proud Bermudian who wins the title, defends her title with maximum points, 5,200, her 6th win of the season.
Welcome back to the program. It's time now for the final installment of our Talking Death series. Tony Waterman joins me on set. Tony, it's been quite a week of stories. We have what to look forward to tonight.
We're going to be looking at some of the lessons that Bermuda can learn from other countries that also have aging populations, but not just aging populations, but also shrinking populations. So I guess you could say that Bermuda's kind of fortunate in the sense that it's not the only country grappling with this dilemma. So if you look across the developed nations, so Italy, Greece, Spain, Germany, these are all countries that are kind of dealing with the same issue right here. The aging population, the shrinking population, those people are eventually going to need a lot more care. So there's one country, though, that really takes the crown when it comes to an aged citizenry. So tonight we're going to take a look at what Bermuda can learn from the country which has the world's oldest population.
Japan, renowned for its sushi, bullet trains, and some of the busiest crossings in the world. But something else increasingly comes to mind when thinking of the land of the rising sun.
So it is the oldest population in the world. At the moment, they've got about 27% of the population is 65 or over, and 8% of the population is 80 or over. So they are kind of an extreme case of an aging society.
It's a combination of living longer and lower birth rates. If nothing changes, by 2060, at least 40% of Japan's population will be 65 or older. The government spotted this gray tsunami mounting and recognized the economic dangers it posed. So in 2000, it radically overhauled the healthcare system, introducing comprehensive and universal social care for people 65 and older.
It was a system that was very heavily focused on hospitals before. So its average length of stay was over 100 days in the 90s. So they ended up with people almost living in hospital for many, many years, which obviously inflated healthcare costs enormously.
Natasha Curry is an expert on the Japanese healthcare system. She says it hasn't been without its troubles, but overall, it works. The focus now is on keeping the elderly fit and independent. Technology could play a vital role, and millions are pouring into research and development. Some focus on prevention, like this Panasonic Assist suit, which reduces physical strain while working. There is also the experimental nursing care robot Robear, which can lift a patient from a bed into a wheelchair.
The situation in Bermuda isn't quite as dire as Japan, although there are similarities. The population here is also aging. The median age in Bermuda is now 44, and 17% of the population is 65 or older.
the population is also shrinking. And like Japan in the 80s and 90s, Bermuda's healthcare system is under immense strain.
Is it critical? Yes, we are at a very critical stage. At this point in time, like I said, we are taking steps to produce and investigate and explore a longer-term care plan.
The plan now is to expand the personal home care benefit, which provides people with in-home care for things like bathing and showering and specialized care from nurses. That could help ease the pressure on the hospital. Longer term, private investment is needed.
The finance minister and the honorable premier did indicate that there would be certain concessions to try to encourage and entice contractors and investors to build care facilities for seniors in Bermuda.
This isn't the first time Bermuda has faced a looming healthcare crisis. The onset of AIDS in the 80s inspired Russ Ford to make a bold move, opening Bermuda's first and only hospice facility.
When I talked about a hospice care facility back in '85, there was nobody else talking about it, right? There were about 4 of them in the world. Once Agape came online, we had somewhere to actually funnel persons where they can get the care for their last days.
Ford has worked in the medical field for decades. He says what's needed in the future is a nod to the past, with families being more involved in the care of their loved ones.
What we do need is other facilities wherein family members can actually be a part of it and take care of them. We should provide support to them, while their loved ones are alive.
Because even if you're not from the land of the rising sun, chances are your sunset years are stretching out longer and longer.
So, Tony, these segments have been very eye-opening, sometimes a little shocking, very emotive, and they've received a lot of very positive information, feedback on social media. So
we've certainly been getting a lot of responses from the public, and I can just say that anecdotally, people have stopped me and said that they've now downloaded the advanced directive form so they can start logging them with the hospital and start that conversation, that process of getting this conversation going with their friends and families, so that their end-of-life wishes will be taken into account. The conversation, of course, is always can continue on social media, so people can reach out on Facebook, they can reach out on Instagram and also Twitter. And I should say that Age Concern is a great resource for people that are aging and have any questions for any of the topics that we covered this week, and they're more than happy. I spoke to them today. They're more than happy to start fielding questions and help people with this next step, this final journey that we all have to take.
Well, thank you, Tony. Well done. Very well done. So a reminder that this week's Talking Death series is brought to you by the following sponsors.
At Bully Graham Funeral, we pride ourselves on the service we provide. Careful and compassionate removal of mortal remains, comforting and friendly consultation, advice on media preparation and publication of necessary notices, notification of clergy and other support agencies, preparation of remains, printed service program, monuments and nameplates, transport in a stylish Mercedes hearse with 360-degree viewing. We specialise in traditional Bermuda coffins in cedar and mahogany and have many styles of urns for those opting for cremation. 32 Mount Hill, Pembroke, Bermuda, 441-292-3320, bgfunerals@logic.bm.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste, definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
Welcome back. Mystery surrounds the reason Ross Weber, CEO of the Bermuda Business Development Agency, is apparently on administrative leave. Sources telling us it happened earlier this week and is connected to management practices. Attempts to reach Mr. Weber at the BBDA offices were met with the response that he was out for the week. A spokesperson for the BBDA would not give a reason for Mr. Weber's absence, and Paul Scope, chairman of the BBDA, is currently off island and could not be reached for comment. Turning to weather news, cloudy with showers and some gusty winds for our Saturday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and hopefully you've had a great week. We're heading into the weekend. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the nicest of weekends. We woke up today and it was very muggy outside. We had some dense fog. Not the best hair day for the ladies, and I hate to say it, we're still going to have a lot of this humid, murky air with us through this weekend. You can see we have this blob of moisture that's just to our south and west here, and we will have showers and even some steady rain moving into the area, especially as we head into later on tomorrow. So plan accordingly if you had any plans of doing anything outdoors this weekend. Now, looking at our water vapor here, the yellow depicts where we have dry air, and then the white, of course, is where all of that moisture is. We've had dew points in the 70s today. I like to say it's kind of the air you can wear. You can just feel it. And it's going to take a couple of days until we have the frontal boundary push all of that mugginess off of the island. So here we are. On this Friday evening, temperatures are sitting in the low 70s, humidity between 80 and 85%. Winds are coming in out of the southeast, 8 to 12 knots. The water in the low 70s and waves outside of the reef right now running between 3 and 6 feet. So looking ahead at the forecast for tonight, we are going to see mostly cloudy skies, breezy at times, and also a couple of showers as well. Take note to that temperature, 69 degrees. So overnight, we're going to be staying very warm and also very muggy as well, and that will continue at least through the weekend. If you had any plans on heading out in the water, not the best of weather forecasts that I'll be giving you for that, but small craft warning remains in place at least through Sunday afternoon. So exercise extreme caution here. Your tidal times, low tide 1 coming just after 2 o'clock in the morning. And as I mentioned, it's not going to be the best of weekends to be out on the water. Here's your forecast for tomorrow. Again, it stays humid outside, 74 degrees, mostly cloudy. We will have a couple of showers. And then as we head into tomorrow night, I think that's where we have the opportunity for some steadier rain and perhaps even some thunderstorms as well. So it might be best to do something indoors for Saturday night. If you plan on doing any traveling, here's a look at the forecast. New York City, Saturday, 62 degrees, mid to upper 60s in Boston, Atlanta, nice and sunny. A quick check at what's going on in Jamaica, Barbados, and also Trinidad. You can see we have a little bit of moisture there as well, cloudy skies, and also some showers as well. Let's take you into the extended forecast. You'll notice nighttime lows staying close to 70 degrees Saturday and Sunday. Both days are looking wet, humid, and it will feature some heavy rain and perhaps even some thunderstorms Saturday night. Front comes through. Feels a lot better into early next week. And it also looks like a nice dry pattern to come.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's was BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always been seemed to be with Bermuda Fire Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition. Because then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. And I'm quite happy with it.
Well, festivities for the World Triathlon Series are well underway. The event has drawn athletes and spectators from around the globe. Some businesses, though, are caught in the crosshairs, but as Tony Waterman discovered, they don't mind.
Saturdays are typically the busiest shopping day of the week. But this Saturday, Bermuda makes way for something far more exciting.
As the series leader.
For the first time, the World Triathlon Series makes a pit stop in Bermuda. World-renowned athletes will be plying the roads both by bike and foot, which means those roads will be closed to traffic and parking will be scarce. That's prompted some shops to close up shop this weekend.
Most of our product people it's heavy furniture, boxes. So that's a practical reason, would it be the right decision? And it's the right decision because the triathlon is a great thing for Bermuda. And we'd like to watch it.
Great Things manager Ralph De Silva says there's no compensation from triathlon or government officials for lost sales, but he's not concerned, confident the money will be made up for at a later date. Others feel the same way.
For the first time in 60 years, we're shutting the store on Saturday. It is obviously inconvenient, but I think it's well worth for everybody to be able to see an event like this and have it, hosted in Bermuda.
Supermart will be shutting its doors on Friday at 5 p.m., but it's back to business on Sunday. Other stores will also be closed, including Hamma Galleries, the stationery store, and Orange Bay. But by and large, many businesses are staying open, including Chatham House.
We're in a prime area. It's very busy. We sell a lot of drinks, and we have candy and chips and a lot of cigars, and we're hoping to have a good and fun weekend with the triathlon here.
It's easy to see why a retailer like Chatham House would remain open during the triathlon weekend, because clearly a cigar is much easier to carry around than bags of groceries. Oh, I'm going to need this too.
Others are open too, like Marketplace, the Irish Linen Shop, and Arnold's. And even if business is slow, who can argue with a front row seat to cheer on the hometown hero?
Long way to see who is.
Tony Waterman for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
The Bermuda Broadcasting Company would like to extend our very best wishes to Flora Duffy as she competes against the world's best tomorrow afternoon in the MS Amlin World Triathlon Women's Elite category. But if you can't make it down to cheer Flora, the Bermuda Broadcasting Company is making the elite races available on all of our broadcasting platforms. We will be transmitting live television on ZFB TV Channel 7. We're also making the coverage available on mobile devices and the web at bbc.bm/live. And we will be broadcasting on our Ocean 89 FM radio station. Ian Rollins kicks off our local triathlon coverage on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. with live interviews from Front Street. The men's race starts at 1:06 p.m., followed by the women's race at 4:06 p.m. Stay with us throughout the day for all the live race action, and if you miss any, we'll rebroadcast our coverage on Sunday, April 29th from 11:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. on ZFB TV Channel 7. Go Team Flora. We're so excited. And with all eyes centered around the MS Amlin World Triathlon, Minister of National Security Wayne Keynes addressed the general public view of handling emergencies around the island during the event.
The team under Inspector Cusham, they have looked at this from a logistical aspect. They have put key points in place. There is a logistics plan that if there is indeed any emergency, there are key arteries on the route that will be opened up. The barriers are not there to prevent spectators from getting on the track. But if the egress is needed by emergency services, there is a clear plan to ferry anyone to those clear emergency points. I cannot identify those emergency points. What I can tell you is that we have a policing plan. Officer Lyndon Rayner and Officer Cusham have been working feverishly with the organizing team. I know that we have been working with the Department of National Security to put together a plan, and all of the elements dealing with any crisis or dealing with any eventuality have been factored in the plan.
Minister Keynes said the plans to handle any emergency is wide-ranging.
The plan is exhaustive, and it considers every element of Bermuda. They understand the logistics of how the island is configured, and there is a plan that if there is indeed a problem, there is a plan to ferry people to the emergency services based on what the country and the road looks like.
Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Sears is Bermuda's largest home appliance store with over 200 appliances in our showroom. We have refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, washers and dryers. Sears has a wide selection of craftsman's tools and accessories. Beautify your home with our lawn and garden tools. We have everything you need for outdoor entertaining. Located at 41 Victoria Street, Sears is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sears, reliable delivery, quality service, and everyday low prices. Bermuda, the MS Amlin World Triathlon Series is finally here, and we're bringing it to you live this Saturday, April 28th. We're kicking it off at 11:30 a.m. straight from the Race Village on Front Street. We'll also be speaking to event organizers, spectators, and hometown favorite Flora Duffy. So tune in to Channel 7 or go to our website at www.bbc.bm/live. And don't miss a second of the action. That's this Saturday, April 28th at 11:30 a.m. as we bring you live coverage of the MS Amlin World Triathlon Series from Front Street.
This broadcast is brought to you by our friends at Linda's Group of Companies. Why go anyplace else?
The triathlon athletes scouted the cycle course earlier today. Earl Bazin has the details of them going up the challenging Corkscrew Hill and more in tonight's sports package.
Well, it's all systems go for the MS Amlin World Triathlon Series that takes place in Hamilton tomorrow. Elite athletes had the opportunity to do the course that included twice up Corkscrew earlier today. These are some of the scenes. Who remembers this moment?
Second attempt. Yes, he's clear. My goodness gracious me.
It's been 28 years, and Nicky Saunders' record, the third longest standing Commonwealth Games athletic record, still stands today. Remembering that day like it was yesterday, he said he had a feeling something big was going to happen.
Jerry Swan and I, we trained. I mean, we got it right. And I knew that I was going to win. Now, that sounds a little cocky.
Right.
And I never prided myself on being that way. But because of the training we were doing, the preparation that we had put in, I felt that this was my time. So I can remember being with the other high jumpers and saying, you know, you guys can settle for second and third. Number one's already wrapped up. Well, we had a good rapport, and they would say the same thing as well, and we were laughing. And then I can remember during the practices, you know, just a couple of practices before the final, it was just unbelievable. You know, I had that feeling. Jerry had that look on his face, you know. When Jerry gets that look on his face, you know that he thinks you're ready.
Right. The BizFed 2018 Montreal Bocce World Open continued with Bermuda's Steve Wilson, Uche De Silva Andrade, and Omar Hayward all seeing action in individual competition. On day 2, Hayward went down 7-4 to Paulo Renato Larunha from Brazil in their BC 1 division match. In the BC 2 division, De Silva Andrade went down 5-1 to Nadav Levi from Israel. Wilson went down 11-1 to Alison Levine from Canada in their BC 4 battle. Hayward would finish level at 3-3 with Roberto Lagizzi from Argentina. De Silva Andrade went down 5-0 to Michael Mercer from Canada. Wilson would pick up his first win when he defeated Wataru Futusimu from Japan 9-0. Following 3 warm-up games in Dubai, the Bermuda men's national cricket team have headed to Malaysia for the ICC World Cricket League Division 4 tournament. Today we look at the Dubai tour numbers. Stephen Utterbridge was the top overall scorer with 119 runs, while Gennaro Tucker scored 106 runs. Kamal Levrock scored 87 runs. Utterbridge was the top individual scorer with a knock of 83, while Tucker scored 70 not out and Levrock scored 56. In the bowling department, Kwesi James claimed the most wickets, taking 6. Deon Stubble grabbed 4, while Tucker, Charles Trott, and Corey Smith all claimed 2 wickets each. Mackay Simmons held on to 3 catches, while Tucker and Okira Bascom held on to 2 catches each. The 2018 SWAC Women's Tennis All-Tournament team was recently announced, with Bermuda's Tyler Smith named to the team. Smith of Jackson State was the lone player who did not play in the final who made the All-Tournament squad. The senior tied a conference high with 4 victories in the tournament. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
And as we mentioned at the start of our cast, another One Bermuda Alliance member of Parliament resigns his seat. This time, Dr. Grant Gibbons informed the House of Assembly that today was his last parliamentary session, as he will be tendering his resignation from Parliament come next Monday, the 30th of April.
This is my 25th year as a parliamentarian, and I can say that I have enjoyed every one of them, although I must admit there are some years that I've enjoyed more than others. It's been a privilege to carry out the people's business, and I would particularly like to thank the constituents of Paget East for their continuing trust and support over the last 24 years. I've enjoyed advocating on their behalf and assisting them with everything from pensions and roadworks to dog issues. I hope they feel that I've served them well and made a positive contribution to Bermuda during my time as an elected member.
That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for sharing part of your Friday evening with us. Enjoy your exciting triathlon weekend and do follow us. Go Flora. We're so proud of you. Good night, Bermuda.